Dear student, welcome to this session, SDG 15 Life on Land Global Progress of our course MSD 019 Global Strategies to Sustainable Development. Now, when we look into this SDG 15 Life on Land, one of the SDG goals, UN Sustainable Development Goals, which we have to achieve by 2030, this SDG 15 Life on Land has target of 12. To achieve this target and to look into progress for achieving this target, we have 14 indicators. So when we look into the nature-society interaction, we understand that there is the flow of resources from nature-society. But unfortunately, this relationship with nature has become severely threatened due to losses in forest, land degradations, species extinction. This is the process outcome of nature-society interaction. At the same time, what we are able to see, because of our dependence on natural resources to the nature, around 100 million hectares of healthy and productive land, it is degraded every year. The world is currently facing at the same time largest species extinction event, an extinction event since the dinosaur age. If you precisely look into the challenges to achieve this SDG 15 on land, the challenges in front of us is, as I also mentioned in few seconds back, that every minute the degradation is happening. If you look into the forest, you will see every minute 23 hectares of arable land are lost due to drought or desertification. So what is the solution you can have to stop or to limit this loss of arable land? We need to combat desertification and restore the degraded land. Again, if you look into one of the major challenges we have today is every year due to the nature-society interaction, we are losing 13 million hectares of forest. When you talk about the forest, it is home to more than 80% of all land-based species, and it's provide, as I told you, as we know that natural society interaction in this society gets livelihood, or through the medium economics, this society, natural society interaction works. So when we are losing millions hectares of land, it automatically affects to the 1.5 billion people for their livelihood. What we can do? The possible solution is we need to halt this deforestation and restore degraded forest to protect this beautiful habitat. In the same time, we are internally trying to get our own greediness, and through that process, we are losing to number of precious biodiversity that is in highly alarming rate, pushing about 22% of animals to the brink of extinction. So we need to stop this process, limit this process. So we need to, take urgent action to enforcing and the trafficking of protected species. That's why the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, Life on Land, the major aim is to protect, restore and promote the sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystem, managing the forest sustainably, combating the desertification, halt land degradation and biodiversity loss, and reverse the land degradation. That means restoration. If you look into the targets we are talking about, that is 12 targets with 14 indicators to achieve this Sustainable Development Goal 15. And if you go try to understand those targets and the indicators, then the first 15.1 target means 15 means goal number 1 is goal number 1. The first target is ensuring the conservation, restoration, sustainable use of terrestrial and inland freshwater ecosystem and their services, particularly when you look into that the services provided the ecosystem by the ecosystem of forest, wetland, mountain, drylands, right. So, to look into this progress of this target, achieving this target, certain indicators are identified. They are the number of the area of the forest in forest area is a proportion of total land area of that area or of that region of that state, right, of that country. The second indicator to look into this progress is proportion of important sites for terrestrial, it may be freshwater biodiversity that are covered by protected areas, means by different ecosystem type, right. So, if you look into the global progress, you will find out that if you look into the forest area, a proportion of total land area, looking into the ground level situation, you will find out in this table, which is from Global Sustainable Development Goal Global Report 2024, you will find out that if you look into globally, the total area of forest in terms of proportion of land area to proportion to land area, we are not progressing well, because if you look in 2000 we had 31.9%, but in 2020 it is 31.2, that is decreasing globally. If you look into regional, the Central and South Asia going well, Eastern and Southeastern Asia, it is also going well, most of part of the world, and it is going well if you look into regionally, right. But if you look into that Latin American Caribbean country, you will find out that used to be, that was in 2000, that is 50.8, but if you look in 2020, it is 46.7. Second indicator is mean of proportionate to terrestrial key biodiversity areas covered by protected areas. We are talking about protected areas. Here also you will find out globally we are going well, from 26.6 to 44.3 in 2023, from 26.6 in 2000, right. Here we will find out regional wise, right. So, what I can say that is, if you look into globally the mean proportion of terrestrial key biodiversity areas that is covered by protected areas, that is, we are going well globally. Now, another indicators, that is mean proportion of freshwater key biodiversity area. Here also, if you look into the world globally, it is going well. From 27.8 in 2002, we are having 44.5%, right. That in regionally also, it is going well in across the world, okay. Target number 15.2 means targets 2 of goal number 15, promotion of the implementation of sustainable management of all types of forest, halting deforestation, restoring degraded forest, and sustainably increase afforestation and reforestation globally, right. To understand or to look into progress of this particular targets, we have indicators, that is looking into what kind of sustainable forest management practice is implemented across the world at different regions, right. Here also, if you look into global data, you will find out that the forest area annual net change rate means protection means protection. When look into here, we are talking about sustainable forest management, right, progress towards sustainable forest management as an indicator, right. If you look into that, you will find out here that the sustainable forest annual net rate change, it is also we are not doing well, right. So, globally it was from 2000 to 2010 we have that sustainable forest rate that was in minus, that also in minus, going in minus. Okay. So, in the same way, when you look on the above ground biomass stock in the forest, here now forest in some area, forest area is in some part, and most of the parts forest area is increasing. That is why we are having from 115.9 that was in 2002, it is tons per hectare, to now 118.3, going, at least that means protection, some protection is going on, and that may be the factor, because once it is now from if you look into the life cycle of the plant, then that have increases their biomass stock in that particular plant. That may be the one of the reason, right? Again, the proportion of forest area within legally established protected areas, right? Here you will see, here also globally we have from 2000 to 2020 we are increasing well, 14.12 in 2000, and in 2020 we have 17.81. Also in here you will find out the regional wise data. Data is for your reference. You can see this data in Sustainable Development Goal Report of UN SDG that published in 2024. You will find out this data. Okay. Again, if you look into the proportion of forest area under a long-term management plan, here also we are going well from 51.72 to 58.26 in 2020 from 2000, that is 51.72. So it is also going well, because long time ecological research and all these things as a slow process, right. Then again, if you look into one of the indicator, again forest area under an independently verified forest management certification scheme, we have forest certification scheme that's focused on sustainable management of forest, right. So here there is some issues we are having. We have 51, we are having going well. From 51,311 to 2022, we had 266.7 hectares, right, 1,000 hectares. So it is going well, right, when we talk about management. When again, third targets of this SDG 15 is combating desertification, restoring degraded land and the soil. That includes, when we are talking about degraded land soil, that includes the land that is affected by desertification, drought and floods, right, and strive to achieve a land degradation neutral world. So to look into this, we have indicator of 15.31, that is on proportion of land that is degraded over total land area. Okay. If you look here, here also share of degraded land in 2019 is 15.5, and when it compared to 2015 it is 11.3 globally if you look into. So share of degraded land percentage is increasing. See, one of the reasons why degradation of land is happening, when as I mentioned, and most of us know that we are entirely depend on forest. And if you look into the deforestation, degradation, population is increasing. So expansion of forest and then expansion of grazing land is happening across the world. That is one of the reason that that proportion of land that is degraded over total land area is increasing, right? And target for that ensure the conservation of mountain ecosystem, including their biodiversity, in order to enhance their capacity to provide benefits that are essential for sustainable development. To look into this progress, we have two indicators, that is mountain green cover index, that looks into the green cover altitudinally, right, depending on the altitude, and in the mountain we have altitudinal gradients, right. Accordingly we look into the how much green cover needs to have depending on their altitude. Okay. So coverage by protected areas of important sites for mountain biodiversity, right. So if you look here also, Globally, we are having in this way, we are going, mean proportion of mountain area, key biodiversity cover protected area is going well, right? But it's on whole as compared to, it progressing well in sense from 2000 to 2023, but it should be, the progress should be beyond this, right? At the same time, when we talk about mountain green cover index and the proportion of degraded mountain land, when we look into mountain green cover index, right, in details you will find out in our study material 78.15 was in terms of percentage in 2000, but it is 78.27, slightly increasing, slightly progressing well. In the same way, when you look into mountain green cover index by bioclimatic belt, then it's also, in 2018 we have 68.57, total 78.27, right, at least better, okay. So in that way, when you look into target number 5, taking urgent and significant action to reduce the degradation of natural habitat and halting the loss of biodiversity and protect and prevent the extinction of threatened species, we have, most of us we know about the red list index of species by IUCN, right. There is, in the beginning I already reflected that extinction rate is increasing day by day, right. That is why we are not progressing well. You just look into here in this table, the figure is in the world 0.77 in 2010, now in 2024 we have 0.72. Okay. Then if you look into promote fair and equitable sharing of the benefits which arise from the utilization of genetic resources and promote appropriate access to such kind of resources, that's, that is benefit sharing. And that one of the indicator is number of countries that have adopted, because a number of country, all the party has to adopt certain legislative, administrative and policy framework to ensure fair and equitable sharing of benefits. In that also, at least we are doing well, implementing well across the world, right. Again, if you look into Nagoya Protocol, which is very much important, we have 69 countries in 2015, now we have 39 countries, okay. Number of countries that are parties to Nagoya Protocol. In the same way, if we look into the number of countries that are contracting parties of International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resource for Food and Agriculture, that is international collaboration, international efforts, in that number of countries is increasing. That used to be, that was only 126 in 2012, now we are having 150 in 2023. So, member states and the states are coming voluntarily to take part, to have that concern and to find out a solution. In the same way, when we talk about standard material transfer agreement, that is transferring plant genetic resources, food and agriculture, that also in terms of number, we are having good progress. In 2012, we have 32,997. Now it is 3 times than 2012. That is in 2023, we have 100,844. Okay, globally look into that. Targets 7 tax that focus on taking urgent action to end poaching and trafficking of protected species of both flora and fauna, addressing the demand supply of illegal wildlife product. Because when we talk about stopping poaching and trafficking, it is because of your demand, at the same time supply. So it goes when demand is high and there is less chance of supply, then illegal activities is happening. So to look into that, we have indicators, proportion of traded wildlife that was poached or illicitly trafficked. So if you look in that also, we are going well. We are going, it's not going well in the sense that it used to be less, now it is increasing from 0.77 to 1.3. That's I concern that the population is increasing, right. Certain species that threatened species, they may have high social value in terms of medicinal value, in terms of anything, right. That may be the region. Okay. Target I talks about introducing some measures to prevent the introduction and significantly reduce the impact of invasive alien species on land and water ecosystem and control, eradicate the priority species. So, to look into this progress, we have proportion of countries adopting relevant national legislation and adequately resourcing the prevention or control of invasive alien species. So, in that also now we are progressing well. If you look here in this table, in the globally, it comes from 74 to 87, that from 2016 to 2022. In the same way, others, I mean, managing the budget and so on, that context also globally of the 85 countries, then global this area funds also going well in this sense. Okay. So, target number 9 that has to look into integrating ecosystem biodiversity values into national and local planning, development process, poverty reduction strategies and accounts. So, to look into this progress, the indicators identified by UN SDG is number of countries that have established national target in accordance with or similar to Aichi biodiversity target, or we have integrating biodiversity into national accounting system or reporting system, which can be defined as implementation of that biodiversity accounting into environmental economy accounting, right. So, in that context also the number of countries is, I mean, going well, right. Okay. From that is, you will see we have in this data, you will see as of 2023 how much country in 2022-23 the progress so far in this line you will be able to see in this. For as of now in the world, by 2023 we have globally we have 90 countries, they are effectively implementing this. Okay. The additional targets 15A, that is on mobilization and significantly increase the financial resource from all sources to conserve and sustainably use biodiversity ecosystem. So, to look into this indicators, looking into that, the indicators are official development assistance ODA on conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity. Another is revenue generated and finance mobilized from biodiversity relevant economic instrument, right. That is in the previous that indicator we talk about accounting, environment economic accounting system, right. So, that is linked with that previous indicator. Okay. So, in this case also there are certain issues are there which have that ODA problem, official development assistance problem. So, anyway, we can say that will in the future to come the world will going well. Okay. Target number 15B, that is also on mobilizing significant resources from all sources and at all levels to finance sustainable forest management, right, financing that sustainable forest management, provide adequate incentives to developing countries to advance this management, including for conservation and reforestation. Indicators are official development assistance on conservation, sustainable use of biodiversity, and revenue generated and finance mobilized from biodiversity relevant economic instruments, right. So, here you will see the data that total official development assistance commitment on conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity ecosystem, that used to be $1,774.66 in 2002. Now, in 2022 we have 11,021. Okay, we are progressing well, right. 15C is on enhanced global support for efforts to combat poaching and trafficking of protected species, including by increasing the capacity of local communities to pursue sustainable livelihood opportunity, proportion of traded wildlife that was poached or illicit traffic, right. So, in that also, and here also the issues here still we are having this issue from 0.77 was there in 2016, now 1.36. Okay. So, we need to improve a lot. So, if you look in those target, those issues, what we can say that the world forest area, as I mentioned, their declination is happening if you summarize in that way. Then from 31.9% in 2000 to 31.2 in 2022, you globally look into that. Then at the same time, when you look into global protect and conserve area coverage of marine, terrestrial, freshwater, mountain key biodiversity areas showed substantial improvement that prior to 2000 till now, right. In the same way, when we look into species extinction risks, is per the data which we have looked into that in few minutes back, it is also worsening. So, we need to progress well. So, when we talk about then another 15.6, countries need to continue to make progress in rectifying, implementing access and benefit sharing instrument. So, by end of 2020 to 75 countries, that used to be only 6 countries in 2016, and then from 2015 12 countries, right. Now, most of the countries they are adopting their own policy program and laws to protect implementing those policy program, protection of land resources, including threatened species. In the same way, when you look into the implementation of 90 countries in 2020 to 90 countries implemented the international statistical standard to measure the environmental and ecosystem and their connection to their economy, that increase of 30% since 2017 to 2023. So, in this session what we are trying to understand is what are the major indicators to achieve, to look into the different targets under SDG 15, and we have to look into the progress so far made by globally by different countries, and to have summarized, we try to understand what is the exact position when we look into the SDG goal number 15 from the past 2 decades till today. Okay, with this, I encourage you to look into some of these references here. You can look into that, and for details you can refer to global indicator framework that is available in UN SDG site. You just look into annexure E2024/54, then you can look into Sustainable Development Goal Report 2024 for the update. Thank you.